And I think that, our friends who are sitting here are truly, examples of what can be done outside of the Kapoors and the Khans. कोई जागे कोई सोता है होने दो जो होता है नए दिन है नई रातें होने दो नई बातें. You guys, I must say, you're literally my absolute favorite discoveries in the last couple of years, all right? So whether it's Adarsh, जिनको हमने recently देखा Guns and Gulabs में, but you remember that performance from White Tiger, right? I mean, how amazing was that, yeah? Anna, thank you so much for making time for us in Mumbai today. Today, it's been amazing. Whether you saw her in Kumbalangi Nights, whether you saw her in Capella. Yes! Where's Malayali represent? Come on! Yes! It means a lot to us for you coming all the way. Thanks so much.
Pleasure's mine. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Gurfateh, मतलब इतना hot आदमी जिंदगी में मैंने किसी से बात नहीं किया जो इतना hot है. Thank you for your hotness. है ना? ये 2023 में ये woke चीजें, लोग मुझे cancel कर देंगे. Can I say that, you're hot? Is it okay?
You can. I mean, I hope I do other things also except just being hot.
Absolutely. Fine actor. I think
Yeah,
Class.
hot stuff.
You remember Class, guys? Yeah, what a fine performance, and I think that was really great for you as well. So congratulations on that recent success.
Thank you.
You deserve to be here. Sidhant, what a discovery. What a discovery. Just to find someone, and this wave of nepotism that burst out in the pandemic. I think kahin na kahin, it's refreshing for us to make those corrective measures as an industry. And I would like to say that the industry is making those steps. And I think that, our friends who are sitting here are truly, examples of what can be done outside of the Kapoors and the Khans. So let me just drop that right there because it's amazing. You're a revelation, man. It's been amazing. So,
Thank you.
So let's start off by asking you a basic question. You have been in the business for longer than, what the success is, right? Like, let me ask you, how long have you been acting?
14 years.
14 years.
14 to 15 years, yeah.
Amazing. And when did you think that, you are an actor? Okay, there's one moment in your life जहाँ पर red carpet होता है और आप red carpet पे चल के भी जाएं तो लोग आपको रोकते नहीं हैं. अब रोकने लगे हैं.
मैं actually पीछे से जाता हूँ. I get a little awkward and uncomfortable with red carpets and too many cameras, strangely.
But life changed. What was that moment when you think life changed and you think the metric of success, which is being identified, happened with you? What project was that?
Yeah, I think it was definitely the White Tiger because I think just in terms of accessibility to writers and directors, filmmakers, producers of all kinds, and also the kind of faith that filmmakers showed in me. Because before that, I realized that casting was a lot about not just how fine of an actor you are, but depending on the role is how you get casted. But I realized that once you've sort of given a performance where you get appreciated widely, people are willing to take that leap of faith and be like, even if it doesn't look like the part, we still have 3 or 4 months, so why don't you take that time to transform? So I think that's a massive privilege as an actor to have, and I'm most grateful for that.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for that. I remember when Kumbalangi happened in 2019, it was like for Hindi film fans, जो हमारा दिल चाहता है था, that was what Kumbalangi did for the rest of us, because suddenly we just started looking at Malayalam cinema has always been ahead of Hindi cinema. Can I say that? Yeah, don't cancel me. Yeah, so it's amazing. Some of the best content, some of the best storytelling has come from Kerala for many, many decades now. What do you think happened with Kumbalangi? Why did it connect so massively with the rest of India outside of Kerala?
So Kumbalangi was my first film, and I think my timing was right. I was nowhere near cinema, like getting into cinema or anything. And Kumbalangi just happened. And I think that was the time when there was a lot of shift in the way people perceived cinema. And Somehow the mix just worked. Everybody needed a change, especially in Malayalam. We've been watching movies that were kind of similar in taste and everything, and then we wanted something fresh. And the creative heads involved in the movie was amazing, and they brought something entirely different. Something that was there, probably I would say in the 90s, where a lot of deep dive into human emotions and everything, but somewhere along the way we kind of came away from it. And so I feel like it's all a cycle, like the trend's a cycle. Like right now, we had a small space of realistic cinema, and now there's a small transition to the big budget commercial cinema, because we all want change, right? So then it just keep changing. So I came in that small window, yeah. So
it worked for me. I love doing it. I came in very blindly. I did an audition and I went there. I had no clue what was happening, but I remember my first shot in front of camera and I immediately fell in love and I knew this is what I wanted to do. And I've not stopped from there because I did something completely different. I was into fashion. I studied science. I was all over the place. But that day, I got clarity in a lot of things. So I think that's how it connected to a lot of people as well, because there was a lot of honesty in the film as well. So yeah.
I think the commercial cinema is also very authentic.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. No, but I'll give you a sense of perspective. Like growing up, I remember Adur Gopalakrishnan was, for us, we have to watch his movies in film school. And the cinema from Kerala was always beyond us. Like they were talking in languages that were way more refined than the regular people who were watching a Govinda film, for example. So what this film did for me was just speak to the youth, right? It was also a fresh film about people who looked, and I mean, not like me, but definitely like you. It was a bunch of, people who looked like us. And I think that's why I make that Dil Chahta Hai parallel all the time with Kumbalangi. So
don't get me wrong, that we do need commercial and the kind of indie films we have. We need a fine balance of that. Otherwise, our industry is not going to survive with just indie films. Commercial brings in a lot of money and we need to sustain. So that's very important. But I meant to say the quality of things, like be it in commercial or an indie film, there was a certain quality that, for me personally, in our industry was a little bit off balance somewhere, because I saw a lot of people in my generation getting disconnected from a lot of films. So, but I think we are bringing that back and now there's a fine balance. So I think that's how people are getting connected again.
You also won every award that there is in the last 5 years. Every award, state award, this award, that award. Does that put a pressure on the start of someone's career? How do you feel about it?
Honestly, this get into my head only when someone say it, because initially I was not planning to do this, right? So I never expected an award or anything. I just wanted people to watch the film, or at least like the people I care about just come to the theater and watch the film. But somehow it just happened to be good and people liked it. And I think awards are a bonus and it's a huge encouragement for sure. But I don't think it's good for a person to take that into head and pressurize yourself, because that's not it. That's not going to do anything to you. It is good. It feels good. I can't lie. Obviously, when you get on stage and you're appreciated for your work, it's a great feeling. But art is definitely beyond that. You have to focus on your creativity and growing as a human being to put that work into your art to, grow further. So I don't think you should measure it with awards. Definitely not.
Well said. Thank you so much.
Thank you for saying that.
अभी ना मिले तो ठीक है हम, है ना?
नहीं मिल रहे हैं, it's उसकी बात नहीं है, but
मिल रहे.
yeah, you find very few people who talk like that. You know what I mean? Just keeping art.
You won an award.
Yes, as the man who just won an award yesterday.
Excuse me.
Yes, but I still actually I truly value the art. And
course.
she's like, and she's speaking that language.
I said this on stage yesterday, and I'm so glad. How many of you were here yesterday? आप लोग सब मेरे लिए ही वापस आए. शुक्रिया. Yesterday I said to the same crowd, I said that I'm so glad Uncle Marty, which is Martin Scorsese, there's a clip on the internet that's viral right now where he says, it's art. It's content.
Yeah, don't call it content.
What is content?
Yeah.
It's like this, and I love that, and I love that.
I think just a little addition. When I heard him speak, when I saw that little clip, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but when he said, just try to separate, don't call it content. What I felt was actually, I think content is what you consume in general. Art is what you preserve. You know, something that is worth preserving is art. And that speaks about his films and all the nice films that have come over the years, which have a longer lifespan.
And they
than
have
the
to,
visuals.
because I
Yeah.
want to look at a piece of art. But I have a question for you, Gurfateh. I remember that there was a time when you were going to make your debut with Brahmastra. Woohoo! Okay. And and the debut did happen, and then that film did release, and you were in that film as well.
Yeah.
But there was a lot more of you in that film,
Yeah.
or supposed to be. When it released, what did it do to you as an actor? Because, obviously you're like, this is the biggest banner, this is the biggest film. और जब वो नहीं होता, जैसे कि आपको promise किया गया था, तो क्या हुआ उस time पर? What happened to you internally? Did it make you lose your hopes and dreams? Because Class happened and that's great. But before Class happened, what was your inner landscape like?
I mean, to be very honest, like when I got Brahmastra firstly, I got it after plenty of people. I believe he was also on the shortlist at the time for the same part. It was me, him, Ashim Gulati, Sidhant Chaturvedi, and a bunch of others. I think I was the last on that list. So when everyone said no, they came to me. It was something that I knew that that I don't come from this world. I don't know anyone. There is no one that I could pick up the phone and call that I want to be an actor. What can we do? Like who can I meet? There was no management. There was no manager. Nothing. So it was always something that listen, I'm going to be on set for a good 100 odd days with the likes of Amitabh Bachchan, Ranbir Kapoor, Alia Bhatt, Dimple Kapadia, and I mean Dimple Kapadia का बेचारी का रोल इतना छोटा था तो हम तो कौन ही है. But it was just that like I'm just going to see them. I'm going to see them work every single day. I'm going to train with them, and just like Brahmastra was something where I learned how to hit the mark. I learned how not to fuck up. Because I remember once I did, and Mr. Bachchan was like, "Hey, kya kar raha hai?" And I was just like, like I was that deer in the headlights, that oh shit. I mean, the film came out. It went. It was a great experience. It didn't do. I didn't hope anything out of it purely because my actual film Guilty had come out before then. Thank God it did. And so yeah, it was always a stepping stone. It was always like it was the project that got my foot in the door, that got me noticed at Dharma, in front of Karan sir, the directors, and that happened. So glad. It was just yeah, it's these big films. I feel like, I mean, now it's one of those things that it's like you subsidize your work, you do something that you really love, which might be smaller, but might not pay you as much, but makes you more happy, and then you do certain things which that help you. They're not ideally like something that you'll be like, oh wow, that I'm so happy I did this. It's like a jump. Who's that?
You're damn mature for someone who's that young, because that's what I get from each of you. Which is why my next question is going to be to you. How does it feel to go from anonymous to being recognized? And how does the outer sort of, landscape change around you with success? Like what happened after Jubilee with you? What is the most fun memory of that sort of success? Tell us.
First of all, thank you, IFP, for having us. And really, thank you guys. Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, starting your day with us. Thank you for being here. Well, honestly, I think, I don't know how do you really measure success, but you just feel the acceptance from everyone. You know what I mean? And I was speaking about this literally, I think 2 days ago. As an actor, while you're just running around in circles and you just find your direction somehow, find an intention towards this work which feels right, which gives you courage to just be out there and express, truly share everything that you've lived through your characters, etc., etc. While all of that was happening and while I was doing Jubilee, the moment I finished it, that's when I felt it gave me what really feels like success, which was actually a perspective, a broader perspective of some sort. I felt more open. I felt like I've lived a life beyond my life that I've been living. I felt more to myself. So those things really just stayed with me, and then it's like a blank space. And I just wanted to fill it with all the nice things after that. And somehow, because I lived in that authentic world and I felt the reality, thankfully, through this character that I played. So when it actually came out, I somehow knew that it will touch hearts because I really felt that I found his heart when I was playing it. So that happened. That was a beautiful feeling. And then all the love started to come in, and everyone started to there was an opening of some sort, people in the industry, how you keep chasing them all your life when you're here. It starts from casting directors to then auditioning to just blah, 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 all the little steps that you climb over time. That's sort of opened up. People started to call me to meet them, and I've been meeting some really, really great people, and it just feels nice. And some really nice creative minds, people that I really, really admire. Like I met a few directors, the not so veteran ones also, like Abhay Pannu. Some beautiful conversations that I've had with him, and that's when you start to feel. Jasmeet, who directed Darlings, and then I met Shakun Batra. So I'm meeting all these people, and I'm really feeling the connect because, I think because there are so many people, and somehow, I don't know, call it luck or I don't know what it is. I feel, I don't have an answer to how someone makes it. I don't know. I think for me, I just found an intention that led me to this place. Which feels right. So I'm going to just hold on to that and keep moving.
But tell me, as people who find themselves in a unlikely position, like when I saw Jubilee's sort of creatives and posters, I was very happy for Apar, honestly, because I've seen him, grind it, and I was so happy that here he is. He's a non-Bengali who's been given this sort of, and today's Ashtami, so I was like, wow, it's a great opportunity for a friend of mine. But then I watched the show, and then I'm sorry, I will always call you Jai Khanna because you will always be my Jai Khanna.
Wait until my next gig.
Okay, great. So while you're there, and there are people who've been there, they've done that, whether it's Boombada or whether it's Apar, do you ever have a second of imposter syndrome, any of you, saying, do I deserve to be here? And oh my God, this is so transient, I cannot fuck up. Like, does that pressure ever happen? Of course it does.
No, all these pressures are there, but I feel they're all initial pressures, and while you're prepping, all these questions will sort of, like in the air, like an echo, you'll hear them, and you'll just sail through them and then but like to each his own. I don't know, is there any actor out here who's striving to be an actor and who's looking, okay, amazing. Be ready, it's a yeah.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare and a daydream also. I know it is. But you have all these questions, but then you sail through them because only when you really connect to the character, you find the core. Like with the character, I found my core, and then I just held on to them and just asked myself all the right questions. And it's the right questions, it's the little questions that leads you to like the bigger questions, which makes you feel the energy of the character, I feel. And eventually you start to just live that. And thanks to my director, people like Vikram Aditya Motwani, I think he's also coming after this. Don't miss out on his intellect and his wisdom. Thanks to him, his atmosphere on this set, he respects silence. And in silence you create the most beautiful stuff as actors, as anything. So he really understands that. He gave us the atmosphere which only allowed the characters. You know, the names were not allowed, the baggage was not allowed. You only saw characters because you only saw the place that was breathing Jubilee, that whole world that he was creating. So that all that process really helps.
Really helped.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Take that sip. We'll come back to you. You know, there's a marked difference, and we spoke about this, about the impact of training. You know, because kahin na kahin, how many times have you heard this? कि आजकल heroes को सिर्फ body बनानी है, dance अच्छा करना है, hot लगना है, और बाकी सब तो हो जाता है. Have you guys heard this? Yeah? I'd like to say that's absolute bullshit. Okay, that's not true. Okay, because you know my friends here have spent intensive hours in training and have even left active work to go train and come back. I remember we met at drama school when you were in drama school Mumbai, and Adarsh was in a play, and I watched him, and I said, this boy is absolutely fantastic. There was a time you actually went to train. What were the films before and after, and did you feel a difference in yourself as an actor, and how important is it to train?
I think it's paramount to train as an actor. I mean, it's an answer that you've heard over and over again in the last 3 or 4 years through Pankaj Tripathi, through Nawazuddin Siddiqui, and all these people that influence you. But yeah, I mean, as a singer you train, as a dancer you train, but as an actor you don't train. Also because you don't know what training is. But it helped me immensely. Pre-drama school, I'd done Mom, Rook, My Name is Khan, a few television commercials, but I just realized that I didn't have an intent. I had intent, but I didn't have direction. And I wasn't surrounded by the kind of people I wanted to be surrounded by, and I never had a good teacher. So for the desire to get an atmosphere where I would purely be a student, where I would just surrender myself for 1 year, I decided that I should go to Drama School Mumbai. And the change was, I don't know how big the change was, but how it helped me was be disciplined as an actor, because usually, like, again, as you said, like coming back to like, you don't know what you do with your time as an actor when you're not working. So going to a school and training helps you divide your time and know that, okay, so you need to train your body, which is important, but you need to also train your voice. You also need to maybe learn a few accents. Basically, just keep increasing your repertoire of skills as an actor, because opportunities are far and few, and when they come you need to be absolutely ready, because at that point in time you can't be like, "Arey shit, मेरे को ये करने नहीं आता है," because you had all the time in the world to develop in whichever way you wanted to when you were free. That, and also the awareness of who Adarsh is, because before that all of us as people have patterns or habits that we carry, and when we play a character, when people come and say to you that you were so natural, you reminded me of Adarsh, it's actually not a compliment for me, because I don't want to remind them of Adarsh. I want to remind them of Jai Khanna or of whatever character I'm playing. So I feel like going to a school where you're constantly under scrutiny by your classmates, who you hope would be honest to you and give you constructive criticism, and your teachers who do the same. You hope to break down and decode those patterns that you carry as the person you are, and then remove them and become neutral, and be neutral, so that when you become any character that you play, you don't have the remnants of the person you are, which is a very difficult thing to do, which is something that I still do as an actor, and most of us do. But yeah, that is my understanding of playing a character, where I don't want to carry Adarsh's patterns. So that really helped me. Going to drama school sort of gave me that awareness. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So training is really important if you wish to be an actor. I would say if you want to do anything in the performing arts, you should train. Taking an improv comedy workshop will improve your timing. Taking a horse riding workshop will improve your backside, I guess. I don't know. But I remember a story where one of the biggest films in India was being made, and an actor who's, told me never to quote him, said, "Ro, I could not do that film because I didn't know how to ride a horse. And they wanted me in Hyderabad in the next 3 days to ride a horse." And he's like, "I want to kick myself because I wasn't ready to ride a horse." And I think, oh my God, only if he knew that, he could have been part of one of the biggest films that has, been made in our country. not telling you the name of the film or the actor. He's like, I'm gonna guess. Yeah. All right. Let's ask you, when you look at content that's outside of, just the industry that you're representing today, what do you feel? Do you feel that we have, like, Jim has, been nominated for an Emmy, okay? And I feel that Jim Sarp, please give Jim a huge hand. It's amazing. I feel that we're able to do this across countries. We're able to do this across international content, whether it's Chef Alisha, whether it's Jim Sarp. We're not able to do that in India, within our own selves. Do you feel that there's a difference between content that's made, in a different state versus, the Hindi film industry? Does that exist at all? Or, how do you analyze that? Do you care about it at all?
I think content is different in different regions because of how culturally we are different. But I feel like right now everything travels faster. When you consider Malayalam, we've always been making different content or whatever you see right now. But I feel like the eyes are there now because there's OTT and there's a lot of other platforms that's connecting different industries. So I think variety is always good. You need different content from different regions, right? And obviously you can't say one is above the other. It just has to be true to that region. It has to be rooted to that region for it to travel, because it's, when you consider a movie like Kumbalangi or any film that is very rooted to Kerala, you see people from abroad connecting to it. That is because it's true to that essence of the place. So when you try to make something that is, you want to make it global, because everybody is ambitious and you want to create something that is going to travel all over the world. With that intention, you try to cater to everybody, it might not work, because you have to stay true to your art, true to the place you're coming from, and what kind of art you want to put out. You have to be very honest about it. So I think that's what travels, and I think that not considering any region, it travels anyways. So
I agree with you. However, I do want to say that one of the strategies of the industry has been, we want to reach out to every part of the country, so let's take the heroine from the south and let's take this boy from the north, and ऐसे करके हम सबको डालेंगे, खिचड़ी बनाएंगे और सब पैसे बनाएंगे. I mean, do you think that that's a good enough strategy? I mean, I'm genuinely asking your opinion on this because you're the only one on my panel who can give me this perspective.
see, as an actor, I don't know how much I can be of help on that, but we are all sort of greedy in a way where we want to act, right? I have to be honest that if I get a call from, say, Telugu or Hindi, I would definitely consider it, because it's growing you as an actor. You're pushing yourself to come out of your comfort zone, learn a different language, collaborate with artists from different industries. So that's a good thing. And sometimes it works. At the end of the day, the content that you are putting out has to work than actors from a different region. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a great thing when we collaborate, because we are very unique, but we have a very interesting blend when we come together. So I think that is a great thing.
It's a good thing. Yeah. It's actually a good thing. Well, absolutely. I agree with you. As long as the content works, as long as the content is actually great. Speaking of content, Gurfateh and I had a phone call where we were both bitching about the fact that, bhai, they call it the golden age of content, which is like, itna kaam hai, itna kaam hai. So it's like this false hope. It's like a mirage, right? It means sabko kaam mil sakta hai aur bahut acha waqt hai. What is the downside of, is there a problem of plenty? What happens to actors when there's so many actors?
I mean, I think there is. I remember spending the last 3 months, I was just telling you, I've spent the last 3 months not watching anything. Like, I've been watching Gossip Girls and Friends of the World and all that stuff, because there is so much out there. There is so much out there, and unfortunate thing is, it is very mediocre. It's very, like, most of it. How often do you remember you watch a show like a Jubilee or like a film, like a Fair Play, I was just saying, where you want to talk about things, right? You're like, I watched this beautiful short film called Birha a couple of nights back, and I was like, this is amazing. You know, why don't we talk about this? Why don't most people don't know about it? And we're talking about these very commercial, but I'm not saying commercial's bad. I'm just saying this, uh, influx of the bar is set too low, right? Because I remember just talking to him when we were sitting in the lounge that, what are you reading and what are you working on? He was like, कर रहा हूँ मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ but मज़ा नहीं आ रहा. And I was like, yeah bro, like where is the good writing? Where are the good stories? I'm sure there are, but not enough for the amount of people we are. It's a great time to be an actor.
Can you say no at this stage of your career?
I have been. I remember, every time I must have read at least 10 things, if not more, and maybe one has excited me. That, okay, if done right, this can, in fact, we were supposed to do something which was incredible. I hope it happens. There are stories. It's just, I feel the economics of the whole business as an industry, we're jumping on bandwagons right now that, oh, Jawan is working, so ab Jawan banate hain. Action films are working, so now every director is making an action film. And now that will obviously change in 3 months because people will get tired of the same things. So I feel like as an industry, I think that's what South does amazing. Because my sister works in South films. I feel like...
Your sister is also an actor?
Yeah,
nice.
She's done quite a bit of work. And I feel like they know their audience and they have conviction, They don't care what about anything else apart from just the story they want to tell. And it might be too over the top or too colorful for us, but it's their world.
They believe in it.
Yeah, they believe in it.
They believe in it.
And it works. And everyone loves it. I feel like we as an industry right now, we are stuck in a bit of a in the middle where we know what's working, but we also don't know what's working. So I hope that changes. But yeah, man, better content, art should be there.
Art, please, always art, never content. Content ठीक है, वो सब advertising होता था. I need for you to talk to me about how do you preserve your mental health in a time when you are the most volatile, okay, in your career, in your life. मतलब भाई, अभी, the ground, it's like you're building a bridge as you're putting steps, right? And if suddenly the bridge doesn't build, you're going to fall. So how do you manage your mental health? And I know it's a long answer, but we have to keep it short.
I think one needs to build the bridge every single day. Not just every single day, I feel consistently. When it comes to mental health specifically, I think in this city, where there is no space outside left to really just walk free. Everyone is on top of each other and there is noise. You can't walk on the street. I can't read a script in the day. मेरी routine खराब हो गई है यार. मैं रात को बैठता हूँ silence में पढ़ता हूँ. हाँ, actually, I don't know what to do. And he was telling me there's some national park and I'm going to go with him, I think. Yeah, I need some solace. Anyways, but I think when it comes to mental health, I think our work, thankfully, demands for us to just break patterns, like he said. When you keep breaking patterns, you also have to, I think, consistently heal the past, the roads that you've traveled. And that's a long, long road, It's like the voices from the past and the worry of the future. So we're like always shuffling between both and just trying to like stay afloat right now in the moment. So I think moment is something that one needs to cherish and sort of chase, which is the present, which is me right now sitting in front of you, just speaking to you and you guys, I guess. And just finding that ability slowly. And that only happens with the calm that you find within you. It's consistently changing the inner dialogue, I believe. Have like a nice dialogue with yourself. So tomorrow when you go to an audition, it's not all the insecurity and uncertainty that you felt before of all the other people who are going to be there. So because there's a lot to think about. I think finding the right thoughts to just carefully because emotions are fragile. So you have to take those fragile steps towards it to sort of surrender in the end. And I think that is life also.